everyone. Hello, everyone. If you can see me, if you can hear me, let me know in the comment box below. Let me know in the comment box below. We've been having an amazing session since yesterday. Starting with Douglas Candy Scene, heading down to Trisha Bees, heading down to the panel session we had yesterday. Then we had the founder and CEO of Teachable join us in this summit, guys. It has been back-to-back sessions of just amazing people giving us so much value. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, please do well to let me know. If you can see me, if you can hear me, please do well to let me know. And this evening we are having the panel session this evening is going to be amazing because we have like some of the best creators in the industry discuss with us. For instance, we have people like PCTV. PCTV is going to be here. PCTV is going to be here, guys. Then we have the phenomenal Salem King. The phenomenal Salem King. And guys, if you don't know who Salem King is, then who do you know at all? And exactly, guys. The thing is that the reason why I'm excited about this evening panel session is that all of these speakers and facilitators, they are authorities in their field, especially the social media Oga, right? She's the social media Oga. Everything social media and building communities, she knows so much about it. But guys, guess what? This panel session this evening will be moderated by the one and only Gloria Olufeko. Gloria Olufeko is an award-winning radio presenter, a certified event host, and MC. She has compared several events around Nigeria. She's also certified by the West Africa Broadcast Media Academy as a compare. She's popularly known as Doc Glow for her diction classes where she teaches you how to sound right. So guys, please put your hands together, put your virtual hands together for Doc Glow. You're welcome. You're welcome here.
Hi, how has it been? How are you doing?
So I can give you the professional answer and I can give you the real answer. Which of them do you want, please?
Both of them. But let's start with the real answer first.
The real answer, I am tired. I'm fogged out. That's the real answer. Right? So the professional answer is I'm fine.
Okay. All right then. Let's get to yes.
Let's get to the next person we have that's coming up to the studio is the phenomenal Salem King. Salem King is one person that I really love how he positions his content, and he's someone that I admire his consistency. He has been consistent with pushing out content for a very long time, back to back. When we asked Salem to send us his bio and his designation says creator, and that's exactly who Salem is. Salem is a creator. In fact, he is the creator. So if you don't know Salem King, I wonder who you know. So guys, please put your virtual hands together for the phenomenal Salem. Salem, you're welcome to the studio. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh yeah, I can see you. How was it at Ogun State?
Oh, it was great, amazing. It's always a joy to travel and see people from different parts of the country and connect on the things that make us the same. So yeah, it was fun.
Phenomenal. I love that. So the next person that we are bringing up to stage is the one and only phenomenal, the social media Oga. And one thing I love about the social media Oga is her story, right? And how she started social media management, right? Not just social media management and being a social media coach. She's someone that if you give her your brand, she can take it from where it is and give you that phenomenal engagement that you want. I mean overnight engagements, right? I don't know what she does, but there's a way that she does her things, right? And she's so good at social media engagement and building communities. And thank God, that's one thing that we are really, really going to discuss in this session today. How to build a thriving and hyper-growth community that you can monetize. So guys, please put your hands together for the one and only, the social media Oga. You're welcome here.
Hey. I'm having issues with my iPad, so please give me 1 second.
That's fine.
Yeah, so once I join my iPad, you can see me.
All right then, that's fine. So while we wait for the social media Oga to show us our beautiful face, the last person that we're introducing, which is obviously not the least, oh my God, I'm so excited about this one. Drum rolls, please. Peace Itimi! Guys, see, the thing is that, right, whenever it comes to Peace Itimi and her brand, I'm so excited because I just love her journey of like how she has been building her brand so far, right? She's the host of Founders Connect, and Founders Connect is one platform I always go to hear about about other founders, the struggles they are going through, their story and everything. And one of my favorite episodes so far is that of Douglas Kendis in the founder and CEO of Salem. Obviously, that has to be my favorite episode. So that's my favorite episode so far. And PC Team is currently driving growth for Hova. Hova is an amazing platform, and she knows how much or how to like build community. She has built a thriving community, not just on Instagram, but both with her YouTube channel and various platforms. See, when it comes to living the American dream from Africa to the world, PCT is that person. She's living the American dream. So, guys, put your virtual hands together as we introduce, bring into the studio the phenomenal PCT. Yay! You're welcome here, Peace. You're welcome here, Peace. You're muted if you're saying something.
I would say everybody's looking really fresh. Thank you, Mutin, for that awesome introduction. Very excited to be here.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So while we wait for the social media organ, I'll just step back out because Gloria Olufeko is moderating this panel session today. So I'll just be in the background to make sure that everything goes well and just make sure that you guys have an amazing time. So I'll be listening from the background. Bye.
All right, thank you so much, Milton. I can see all of the energy in the comment section already. Learn with Sapphire. I see you. Oyegemi Mary, you're doing awesome. Adeniro, Ademidoyi, I can see you. Yes, LC Ugodo, amazing. Amara Grace, Patience, I can see all of you, and welcome again to this panel session. My panelists are the bomb. When I tell you that they know what they're doing, they know they are onions. Are we talking about the black and white guy to Peace Itimi, the social media organ that is about to join us? We wait for her and we just hope that she joins us before this session is over. Salem, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm good. I've had an interesting couple of days. This is like the culmination of it all. So this is perfect weekend for me. I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. I could be better, but I'm okay. Yes, do we have the social media organ now? Bolaji Billions, are you here? Okay, Peace, how are you doing? Are you in Nigeria?
Yes, I am. I'm fine.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought you were joining in from the abroad. Okay, you're in Nigeria, so that's very okay. All right, let's just go straight into it. If you're just joining us, yes, thank you, Bright Agbeyo. Thank you so much. Please, if you know your friends that would like to be a part of this, please call them up immediately that we are starting. We're not wasting any more time. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about building a hyper growth and profitable community as a digital creator. So how can you ensure that you're the leader and you have your tribe? How can you ensure that you are the front and you have people that are solidly behind you, pushing you? They engage your content. They're always there for you. They see you as that icon, so to say. All right. So how can you build for yourself a tribe or kingsmen, as I would love to call it? And then that's what we're going to be talking about today on this panel session. And one of the best ways to grow a business or personal brand is using the community approach, because it's one tree doesn't make a forest, all right? Many trees, a combination of trees, what makes a forest. Now, with the community, you're not just impacting lives, but you're changing narratives. Now, although all of these are true, most creators still struggle to build hyper growth and profitable communities that they can make money from, communities that can stand for them even when they're not there. I mean, for Salem, I've seen many of his content reach places that he hasn't gotten to. All right, his content everywhere. And if I ask him now, has he been to probably Australia? He might say no, but his content has gotten to Australia. That's the power of a community. So for all of my panelists, they have successfully done this. And this panel session will be about how to successfully do this and how other creators can learn from them. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. They will be teaching us how you can build a community for yourself, or profitable community for yourself as a digital creator. All right, Peace. I would like to start with you today because I'm really interested in how you. Honestly, I was reading your bio and I was like, okay, Peace. All right, you're not taking it easy on us at all. So I was wondering how you're able to manage everything that you do. But first, I would like to understand your own perspective about community. What does a community mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think a community. Can you guys hear me very well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So from my perspective, I think a community is basically just a group of people who have similar interests. And that similar interest could be for anything. It could be even for food, it could be for travel, it could be that we just migrated. It's just a group of people who find value together and who are able to support each other. I've been able to just be the community of people who support me and like the kind of value that I bring. I started just, creating digital marketing content and sharing videos of or pictures of me doing training and sharing YouTube videos. And by just giving that kind of value, I have been able to build a community of people who are interested in the kind of content that I create. So I think that's one thing that binds us together is that I like to create a certain kind of content, and then I've been able to find people who like and who get value from that content. And they follow me on Instagram or follow me on YouTube or follow me on Twitter, and I put up something and they're responding. And it's just a support and value sharing. And I learn from these people as well. It's not just about they follow me and so it's always peace. When I go through my TL sometimes or go through my comments, I see how people respond to things that I put up, and I actually learn from them. A really good example is I wrote a newsletter last week, and then somebody commented, and I'm like, oh my god, I should have given you the newsletter to write because your comment is so apt and so good and has so much value.
I
And
know,
that's
right?
just what the community is about. Is hey, we all like the same thing. We all find value in this kind of topics and this kind of content. And if you share, we would listen, we would comment, and we would also respond in a way. Even Peace herself can also get value. So it's just shared interest and value sharing.
Amazing. So that's what binds you together with the people that say they love your content. Amazing.
Exactly.
We're going to be talking about how you later found your community. All right, we'll come to that because it's one thing to have these people and it's another thing to find them. Okay. Bolaji Billions, here in the building. Yeah. Is Bolaji here? Bolaji, can you hear me? Social media Oga, can you hear me?
I'm here, but there's a lot going on in the back.
Okay. All right. I will let you be. Let me let you put yourself together. Salem, community. I mean, that spelling. I read English in school, but when I saw the way Salem spelled community, I was like, okay, Gloria, I think this one needs to be added to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. So, Salem, for you, community. I mean, you even have an ebook titled that. What is a community to you?
So I agree with everything Peace said. She made a very interesting point saying it's all about shared values and value sharing, right? And that's all it is. And for me, what I've learned that community is, apart from that, is that it's a human need, right? Like it's a survival need. And if we think about humanity as far back as, the Stone Age or the Ice Age, one thing that helped humans survive as long as they did is the fact that they were in groups. So there was always safety in community. That's how they would provide for themselves, farm together, protect themselves from predators, all of that. If you're alone, you were in danger. If you're in a community, you were safe. But so as long as humanity has existed, we continue to seek safety in community, and so much has changed about what life is like right now. So just as people continue to see community in places like churches, religious institutions, groups of friends, committees. How some people would be living in Lagos but they still belong in this community of people from their village. All those things. We're constantly looking for that safety and that familiarity in community, and it has translated to the digital era, right? Because there's so many people who come from families where they want to pursue something and their families don't understand, right? Like if you studied accounting and you graduated and you want to become a photographer, it's really difficult to explain to the person that paid your school fees that that's what you want to do. So in that situation, it's easy to find a community of people online who are passionate about the same thing that you're passionate about. Just like Peace said, people have shared interests, shared values, all of that. So community to me is a human need, and is a responsibility. if you're leading a community, that's a strong responsibility. If you're a part of a community, it's also a huge responsibility. But ultimately, it's something that helps us all in the end. It's a need that gets met for all of us. Yeah.
Salem, beautiful points there. It's a need. I see that. Now, for you, still on you, Salem, how were you able to find the people that need you or the people that you need? Do you get me?
That's
How were you able to
yeah.
find your tribe? How did you come about putting everybody together?
Well, so first of all, I've belonged in so many different communities, right? I've immersed myself in communities. Every now and then, when someone asks me, Salem, how do I build a community? The first thing I tell them is, do you belong in any communities, right? Have you joined any community? Do you know how community works? You know, it's nice to want to be the leader, to be at the front, but how do you lead when you haven't followed, when you haven't been in a community where you're contributing to? So all my life at different points, I have been in several communities, right? As a teenager, while in uni, you know, school fellowship, church at home, you know, online communities and all of that. So when I first started making videos, I was in an online community at the time, Everything Now Arts, and I was an active member of that community. So when I started making videos, it was the people who were there who like just blew up my stuff, right? I mean, I was consistent also, so I need to take small credit for that. But it was just me belonging in that ecosystem of people who were like me, people who had the same struggles that made it easy. So, like I said, just like all humanity has always needed community, I have always needed community and I've always been in community. And for every interest I have, I find a community, right? So this is the communities that people know about that I belong to is the one that's online, you know, and about content and Instagram. But I belong to other communities because I'm passionate about other things. I belong to communities where I am not the leader, you know. So that's just one of the ways that I consistently find my people because I'm always looking to connect and just belong in community. I don't like to walk alone.
Liverpool,
Yeah.
Liverpool, never walk alone. Amazing. Now, Salem, would that be safe to say that for you, for a person or for a creator, it's possible to be in more than one community? You could be in 10, 11, 12 communities, right?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I don't know if it's advisable because I mean, you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, and you don't want to be in
Okay,
more than one
okay.
place at the same time. You know, but yeah, if the question is if it's possible, yes.
All right. Social media Oga, are you here for us, our Oga?
Yes, I am. I had to restart
Okay.
my entire iPad. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's fine. It's such an honor to have you here. We've been waiting for you in the comment section. A lot of people have been asking, where is our Oga? And I said she's coming. All right, Bolaji, let me just ask you quickly that your experience so far building communities. I mean, I went through your page and all of you've done, and I discovered that there are a lot of people, young creators, people that look up to you, people that want to do what you do, people that in quotes want to be a social media Oga someday. All right, for you, what has the experience been so far building communities?
Overwhelming, to be very
Mm,
honest.
mm.
Overwhelming. And I tell people, don't try to be like me because I keep telling people that I have the shit I go through. Sorry that I'm using that word. But you can't go through it. Like if some people go through what I go through, you might not be able to cope from it. So try to be like your own version of yourself. So I'm going to use Salem as an example because Salem is one of my very good examples in class. I see a lot of people trying to mimic Salem's black and white videos and I'll be like, why are you trying to be like Salem so much? Why not try to be the standard and not the copy? Sorry, my generator is messing up. I guess it's the AC, but I'm not standing up from here. Somebody will fix it.
Well, can you
So
speak up a little bit more,
can you hear me?
Bolaji? We can
Is it
hardly
better?
hear you.
Is it better now?
Some more, some more.
Is it better now?
Okay, okay.
Okay. So I say, stop trying to be a copy. Why not be the standard? So a lot of people want to be like Salem, but they don't want to be their own. Okay, imagine me saying I want to be like Peace. Why do I have to be like Peace when I can just be my Bolaji? Why do I have to be like the social media Oga when I can just be myself? So when I hear people say, "Oh, I want to be like you," fine, that's good. But in the process of trying to be like me, make sure you discover who exactly you are and who exactly you're supposed to be. Don't try to be like me, because the things I go through, the things I struggle with, the friendships I had to lose, the my parents telling me you work too much, you do everything and everything, you don't spend time with you. Most people cannot cope with it, and sacrifices you have to make. I tell people that, oh, I bought 3 MacBooks last year. How many of them can buy 3 MacBooks last year and survive? So why not just try to be like who exactly you want to be? Why not just try to be a better version of yourself than trying to be like Bolaji? So I would say, in the process of, oh, I want to be like the social media ogre, or I want to be like Salem, or I want to be like Peace, try as much as possible to be the best version of yourself. Be the standard. Don't try to be the copy, because when you try to be the copy, people are going to be like, oh, this person is trying to copy Salem, or this person is trying to copy Bolaji, because you are copying what exactly I'm doing. So people be like, I see a little bit of peace in this lady. I see a little bit of glory in this lady. But if you are being your real self, nobody is going to like compare you to somebody else.
Amazing point there. Amazing point. I mean, you started with the fact that it has been overwhelming. Anyone looking at you from the outside might think, Bolaji billions, man. She's just hitting everything. She's just managing everybody's pages. They don't know that there's a lot of work to be done. I like that. Please, if you have questions, do not forget to drop your questions in the chat box so that I can take your questions much later. Peace.
But they should not be deceived though. Like you guys should
Okay.
still bill Bolaji anywhere you see her, bill her.
Bolaji bill eons. So bill her. I second what Salem just said. All right, please don't forget to drop your questions once again in the comment section so that I can take your questions later. Peace. Let's talk about for you how you would tell creators. How would you ask creators, or how would you advise that creators find their tribe, find those that will be interested in what they do? You know, you mentioned it when you started, when I asked you about what a community means to you, and you said you were able to discover those that love what you do and decide to stick with you. So how do you advise that creators find their tribe?
I think that your tribe finds you, especially when you think about it from a content creator point of view. Your tribe will find you, and the reason is because they are going to. You know, when Salim was talking, Salim was saying that he's in a bunch of communities, and he's in those communities because of the value that they give to him. So he's in a church community, he's in a school community, he's a content creators community, because those communities he has found that they can get value. It's kind of the same thing that I think applies to everybody. Everybody's trying to find the social media follower people that they want to follow, that they think they will get value from, whether it's just fashion or it's content or it's Owambe or it's in social media and how to. Everybody's trying to curate their own social media based on what they find value in. And as people do that, when they see someone who is doing, oh, I like this, then they follow you, and by then becomes 1 and 10 and 1,000 and 10,000. One time you become my Salem and you have 40K, then you feel like, oh, you have a tribe. But really, it wasn't really about you finding the tribe as much as people deciding that they wanted to follow you, and that builds your numbers and that builds your community. So what I would advise is focus less on how do I find my tribe as much as how do I become consistent with the value that I give. Because if you're consistent, what consistency does for you is that think about it, right? Salem is a good example. Salem has built his community say in the last 3 years or 2 years, but there's still people today who are finding and following him. If he stopped in that first 1 month and just be like, yeah, I had a goal of 10K and I did not hit it, maybe people don't like me, he won't get to the 40K he is here, right? I won't get to the 20K I am here, but he has done it consistently. And the more you do that, the more new people find you. That consistency makes way for more people to find you and for community to grow. So it's how do I decide that, hey, I want to create value and then be consistent with that value. And so the best way I would approach it is create value. And it's really easy, right? I think that the best way to think about creating value is, one, you could follow trends and say, hey, TikTok dances are trending, let me start becoming a TikTok character. But the best way to be consistent is to be authentic, because you can copy people, but at some point, if it's not really you will get tired. You can try to start doing 1 minute black and white videos, and one day you just be like, I'm done. I want to see color because it's not really you, right? But if it's really you, even if everybody else is doing colored videos, you'll be like, nah, me, I like my content and I think I get value in my content and I'll keep doing it. And that's how you build your telling community. So it's like what comes authentically. I've thought about doing content that is more popular. Right. There's a period I'm like, I don't think my YouTube is growing as well as I want it to be. So let me create more content that's more popular. Let me do more vlogs. Let me do more travel videos. But I'm like, if I start this thing, I might not be able to continue because that's not who I am. I'm the person that likes to just stay and talk about the things that I'm learning or have conversations with people and interview them. That content is the way I can be consistent and is authentically me. And when I'm just able to do that consistently, then people find me. So you want to create value, like true value that is authentic to you. When you do that, one, it helps you be consistent, but it also helps you find the right kind of community. Because again, there are a lot of people that have numbers, but they will tell you that there's a disconnect between who they are and what they want to be and the amount of followers that they have. And they want to do some other things, but the kind of followers they have will not create room for them to evolve or create room for them to create this kind of product and all of that stuff. And so they start thinking, do I need to create another social media page? Yet there are some people who will just today they're creating funny reels, tomorrow it's passion, and the community follows them through that evolution because it's just really who they are and they connected with them for that authentic value. So yeah, that's what I would say. It's authenticity and consistency is the best way to make your tribe or get your tribe to find you and to help you create that content, that value consistently.
Wow. Now, a follow-up to what she said, Peace, you made a point and you said your tribe will find you. With time, the numbers will grow. So are we saying now that there's an importance when it comes to the numbers? Is that an indicator that your tribe is growing when your numbers are going up?
That's a very good question. I think that the answer is yes and no, because and I'll explain from a marketing perspective. From a marketing perspective, there's something like users and there's something like just brand awareness where people know about us, but they haven't necessarily signed up and are using the product. So they've even signed up, but they are just not engaging with us. They're not an active user. They're different cadres of engagement. So there are times when you would put some kind of content, it might go viral, you would get a lot of awareness. People will know about you, but maybe at that point, they haven't decided that they want to follow you. That is a larger extension of your community, and that's a tribe. And the reason why those numbers are also important is because sometimes you need people to just speak for you, rooms you can get access to. And sometimes your tribe will do it, but also it might just be people who know of you that will be able to say, oh, I've seen that guy's content somewhere, or I've seen that girl's content somewhere, and I liked it. Maybe you should get on to. They don't follow you, but they've seen your content. So the extension of those people, it really matters. But at the same time, the numbers that you can really hold on to, numbers that you can really sell products to, the numbers that you can brag about are the ones that are tangible and are the ones that you say, okay, yes, I have 5K followers or 5K subscribers or 1,000 users. Those numbers are the ones that you can really plan with. Do you get what I mean? But I don't think that you should just say, hey, the only 50K followers I have or 5K followers, that's all my community, because you'll be shocked. There are places I've gone to. So a good example is I moved to London less than a year ago, and I would meet someone who is like, I know you. And I'm like, how? It's a new country. But it's from somewhere on the internet that they've seen me somewhere. And they feel like, oh, I will follow you now. Like, I've heard of you before, but now that I met you in person, I will now follow you because your personality personifies what they see on the internet and they'll follow me there. So those people they're just audience, but they also matter because they can speak up for you in places that you just can't get access to. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's a yes and a no thing.
Yes. BJ, I saw you doing like this. You nodded your head when I asked that question.
No, that's why when she said yes and no, I'm like, this auntie, you cannot box.
She's in the spirit.
Because you were trying to be smart, Gloria. You wanted to box peace into a corner. Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, I totally agree with her. That's why I'm shaking my head.
All right. Salem, you've been quiet. Let me let you talk. I want to hear from you, Salem. Let's talk about monetization. How you make your money. Because Salem would like to spray money when he goes for parties. He's not just
Please
creating a
build
community
Salem
for
too.
Can you see
Abio.
his cheek? He looks like he's eating money. That was the first
Exactly.
thing I
Looks
noticed on
well
Father.
fed.
Wow,
Looks well
fine man.
fed. This for me
Ah,
to talk.
Salem. So tell us, how can a creator, all right? How do you think creators can best monetize their talent? How can they turn their communities into money-making ventures? How can they make money for themselves from their communities?
Okay, that's a very broad question that we definitely don't have enough time to answer, but we'll just try and touch, we'll just try and lay a foundation for
Okay.
that at least. So I think the first thing that everyone would need to realize is that it is possible, it can be done, right? Don't, if there's anybody who has ever told you this thing is so weird or it's so difficult, it's impossible, it can be done, it's possible, right? And the second thing I think everyone needs to know is that it's not going to be easy, right? So if you're going into content creation because there's money in content creation, I think you should just give up because there's money in everything. You get just you have to be doing it for more than just the money if you want to go into content creation. In Nigeria, it's a relatively new industry. That's just the truth. And in so many circles, it's not yet like fully accepted as a job. There's still people you explain to, there's still people that ask you, what do you do? And you tell them you're a content creator and they don't understand what you're talking about. And that's a very large population of Nigerians. So that's something to take into account. Thirdly, and finally, another thing you need to keep in mind before we talk about how you can monetize, um, you may not make money you may not make money initially, right? For example, I've been following PC's YouTube channel for 3 or 4 years now, and Peace did not get. I don't think. Did you get monetized in your first year of doing YouTube? Right? She didn't get
Bro,
monetized. Exactly. So it takes a while. I was also making videos for like almost a year before I made any money from social media, right? So if you have a job or something else you do on the side, don't be in a hurry to just throw it away and tell your boss you're fired. I'm now going to be famous. Take your time and know what the hell you're doing. Because a lot of monetization that has to do with content and the digital creator life is normally what's the word now? I forget the word. What's the opposite of arithmetic progression? It's
Geometric.
accumulative, basically. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It basically accumulates, it's cumulative over a period of time. It's you investing and investing and investing, and then one day you get to the point where it's now easier for you to make money. Do you understand? So it might take you a while to make your first 100K, then it takes you like a while to make your first 500K, but then in 6 months you're able to like double that income at a faster rate. So just know that it's a lot of work. In case anybody has told you that it's just for you to come on Instagram and dance on Reels or dance on TikTok and just be cashing out, they lied to you. I just want to tell you now that they lied to you. If anybody told you it's easy, it's not easy. It's
Salem now, why are
bloody
you like
crazy.
this? These tables you are
I'm just
shaking.
saying. Today, it's Saturday now. All of us are supposed to be in Owambe or something. We're here doing class.
Honestly.
Do you understand? And this is a free summit, of course, but there's times when it's not free, like it's our jobs. We're speaking to clients on the weekend, we're taking classes, we're doing all these different things at times when you should just be chilling and working with your family. So now that that's out of the way, if you made it to this point, you now deserve to hear everything I have to say next. So there's so many different ways to make money. You need to be thinking. You don't need to be thinking, how do I make money? You need to be thinking, how do I add value? How do I solve problems? Because people pay money for problems. People pay money to make problems go away. That's why people pay money. Nobody enjoys spending money, if we're being very honest. Even when we go to shop and the things we buy make us excited, it's the things we buy that make us excited. Parting with money, nobody likes parting with money. I wish I could just continue to keep all the money I make, right? So if you're on social media and you want to make money, you need to think, what problems do people have? Who am I speaking to? Who am I reaching out to? What problems do they have? How can I position myself, my brand, and my messaging as a solution to that problem? And when you've done that, two things are going to happen. You're either going to find out that, there's a problem that you've been prepared to solve all your life, and all you need to do is package it into a product, or you're going to find out that there's a problem that exists that you are not equipped to solve, and you need to go and learn. You need to go do your homework. You need to pay for a course. You need to attend an online course, or you need to spend some hours on YouTube learning how to do something, or you need to create content consistently to build trust, all of that. So that's what I would say the first thing you need to do is find a problem. Secondly, it's important for you to now find your tribe. So put out content consistently. Put out content consistently. When Bolaji started putting out content, she did not stop. Like I thought at some point she would just break down, do you get? Because she was working, she was going too hard, like back to back to back to back to back. So when she started to enjoy some certain level of success, it wasn't surprising. When she started her academy, it wasn't surprising. It was going to happen eventually. But she understood that she had to put in her hours. She had to pay her dues for a certain period of time. If we're being honest, we're still paying our dues, safe. Like we're not done. Do you get? In so many ways, we're still relatively in the early stages of our career, and we're still putting in time. Right? So don't be in a hurry. Find that problem. If you find a problem, if you're well equipped, start solving the problem. If you're not well equipped, go and learn. Put out content. One of the reasons why it's important for you to put out content over a period of time is if you want to sell digital products, it's so much easier to sell to people who already know you, like you, and trust you, right? Like this is something that they teach when you learn how to build a personal brand and all that. They call it building your KLT factor. But let's not talk about fancy stuff. People will buy from people that they know, people that they like, and people that they trust. I've seen it happen. Like I've seen so many times where people are just nice to me and I don't even have any explanation because I'm like, what did I do? And the thing I did is that I created content consistently over a period of time. So it's important to position yourself in a way that is easy for people to buy from you. So you're not having to convince people. And my following all the way from 0 to like 47,000 or so was like 100% organic. I never did ads. That ebook I wrote, Community, we sold over 600 copies. No ad, or only community members. Like I only did an ad for the first time last month because I'm like, okay, it's fine. Let me now sell to other people. So if out of my thousands of followers, hundreds of people are buying, then it's because I invested something. It's because they know me. It's because they like me. It's because they trust me. Let's say they don't even like me. Let's say they don't even, but they trust me because everything that I teach, everything that I get paid to teach, I have also taught for free, right? In a minimized way, through my social media, through my Instagram, through my newsletter, through classes like this, and I've just put it up. I've just offered it to people for free. So if you want to make money, find a problem and solve the problem, and people will part with money to make that problem go away. Yeah.
Wow.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I mean, Salem did a great work. I just have an additional perspective. So one of the things I think is important for content creators to know is that you need to also identify how you want to make money, right? And when I say how, I'm not even talking about in terms of product, but there's something called quantity versus quality, right? Salem could sell 600 books and he is focused on quantity, right? Another creator could say, you know what, instead of doing that 600 and maybe the book is like 5K, I want to sell something that is 100K. And I don't need 600 people to meet my goal. I need 10 people or I need 20 people. The difference there is like the pricing, and pricing automatically affects the kind of people that will buy. There are some people that can afford 1K products. There are some people that can afford 10K products. There's another set of people that can afford 100K product. It's a set of people that will afford $1,000 for a Valentine's dinner, and some people who will not spend more than 10,000 for Valentine's gift, right? So pricing affects, no shade on anybody, stop laughing like that, guys. But pricing affects the kind of people that will buy from you. Now, your community is very important because if you build a one and you give value, you will find that there are different cadres of people in that community. Maybe on Instagram, the larger part of your community, say I have 20K followers, maybe the larger part of my community can only afford product of maybe around max $100, but then maybe there's another 1% that can afford like $1,000 product. I want to be able to decide at different points when I want to create a product, which of these people am I creating a product for? And if when I do that, how do I then market it to reach these kinds of people, right? That automatically influences the kind of the product, how you market it, how you sell it, how you do everything around it, and just helps you with your goal. For me, for instance, I've always gone with the less quantity and just like, see, I want to just make like 1 million naira. What is the easiest, lowest number I can use to do that? And just find a way to make it work. But then I also then realized that I had to communicate and position myself differently. And the first time I learned this was it was mistake. I was creating YouTube videos and somebody reached out to me that they saw my video, their CEO wants me to come and train their company on training what I've been posting on YouTube. I've not started making money on YouTube at that time. So it was not even YouTube monetization. And I built this guy and he paid me the money. I'm like, oh, wait. So there is a target audience like this that will see my videos, and the video might not do well on YouTube, but they will see it and they'll be like, please come and train. And when I get in there, there's some prices I will call that even YouTube would take me another 6 months. And I did that like 3 times in my first year. In fact, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I was gingered to keep creating content, because my subscriber base was not growing as fast as I would have liked it to, because again, my content was very niche. But I noticed that even with this very niche one, I could make a huge sum of money because I could target differently. And so that also helped me validate how niche my product was and how niche my content was, to say, okay, you know what? There are videos I would create now that I'm creating it in my mind, not because of the 20K followers. I'm creating because of there's 10 people on YouTube that will see it, and those are the people I want to know of this value, so they can come and meet me for a consulting gig and I can pay them in a certain amount. So also just knowing your pricing, your strategy, and kind of people would also help you to monetize more effectively.
I like
wow. Yes, I was about to come to you, BJ. You would talk. You would touch. Don't worry. I'm here for you. You would touch on what? You would touch on that monetization part, because I want to hear your own part. But Salem said something.
They're saying from their side. I want to
You
say
said
from
what?
our side. They're saying it
Okay,
from
from
their
your own side.
So I want to
Okay.
say from our own side, because our own side is, I'm speaking on behalf of social media managers.
Okay.
Speaking from the hand of Salem is speaking from people that are doing videos and dancing on TikTok and everything. So I would say I agree with a lot of things that Pete said. So for example, I was talking to my mom recently because I got invited to speak, and you know the way Pete said, she mentioned the price. Sometimes I feel like when you mention a price, you shouldn't. It's always very best when all these companies approach you to ask them, please, what's your budget? That's one thing I've learned, because there was a speaking engagement that I wanted to bill them 100K, and their budget for me was like 500. So imagine I did not ask them what their budget was. I would have just billed them 100K. And I'm going to come back to what Salem said. Preset understands your pricing strategy, meaning that there's a community out there that is willing to pay you more than what you are even thinking that, okay, this is how much I will earn. No wonder my mother said, you don't even stress yourself. Sometimes I don't sleep. I'm not doing anything that day, because from one speaking engagement, I'm able to make a whole lot. So Salem said something about finding your own before you monetize and everything, selling 600 books and all. It took me 4 years to monetize. 4 good years to monetize. I did not start monetizing until July 2020. And I would say that when you're going into this niche, like Salem said, if you're looking for money, maybe you should go and look for money somewhere else. Because before, if you're like, oh, I want to start making videos today and I want to start making money, you will suffer. You will not make that money immediately, because it's your community that will buy from you. So I would say, if you're looking into the community space, the creator niche, to say, oh, I want to start making money immediately, you're not going to make that money immediately. I'm sorry, it's not juju. You have to work. Flesh and blood will not reveal to you that you will work hard. If you are coming in, oh, you say from my end, I want to be a social media manager because, oh, I see Bolaji making money and everything. You're not going to make that money. It's going to take a while to make that money. So I would say, you need to find what works for you and stick to it. What works for Salem is not what works for Bolaji. What works for Bolaji is not what works for Peace. So when Peace says your pricing strategy, and also as Nigerian creatives, I don't know if it's just Nigerians that are watching this, but especially in Nigeria, we always try to hide things from each other. So I'll come to meet Gloria. Oh, Gloria, how much are you charging? And Gloria is like, oh, I don't want to tell Bolaji so that Bolaji will know. You will suffer. You will suffer. There was a job I was on with some influencers, and I think it was just 3 of us that told them the price. Those ones that did not talk, they didn't collect up to 100K. We that we spoke, we're collecting like 300. But you don't want to talk because you feel like, oh, okay, if I tell Peace how much I'm earning now, and she's going to look down on me. No, you need to be able to like put yourself out there, let people know that, okay, this is what I want to know. Can you tell me and everything? And pricing strategy is not something you figure out. We're still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out my pricing every single day. I'm still figuring out my price. And there's a lot of things that sometimes I just wake up in the morning and be like, I can't charge this price again. And I'm like, who is going to buy it? Like, who is going to? Salem sold 600 books and everything. To be honest, Salem should be selling the book more than the price that is worth, to be honest. Because I'll be like, me, I cannot sell that book. And I'm sorry, I've already said I cannot do a free class again. Except if the free class is a funnel for you to buy something. I am not going to do. It's not in me to do a free class. But yeah, if seller invites me to come and host a free class, seller better be paying me for that free class. Then they can make it free for other people. But yeah, it gets to a certain point in your life where you need to know, why exactly am I doing this? So are you doing it for the money, or you're doing it because you love it? Because if you are doing it for the money, you see it as a job. But if you are doing it because you love it, you'll find it hard to go on a holiday like me. I always find it hard to go on a holiday because I love creating content. I love serving my audience. Now that I've not posted today, I feel bad. Well, everybody. Yeah.
We understand you're here, so we forgive you for today. Don't worry. I mean, Salem was talking about you being consistent when you started out. He said he thought at a point that you were going to pass out with the rate at which you were trying out.
Literally always commenting, Bolaji, go on a break. I went on a break. I came back. Salem said, "Why are you?" I remember that comment. He said, "Why are you back? Like you said you were going to go on a break and everything. Like why are you back?" But it wasn't. I wasn't satisfied. I needed to, like Salem said, I needed to get to a point where it wasn't, I hadn't reached my goal. I hadn't reached my goal. You know, there's this test for, it's not for money, it's for something. So I was looking for something. I was looking to build that community. I wasn't looking for followers. I was looking to have that community that had my back. And this, I know I have built that community that had my back because I've lost my account 3 times and my community came through for me. So yes, that's why I was always showing up. I was showing up because I wanted something, and I'm in the process of figuring it out, basically.
I mean, you've answered my question already, because I was about asking you that how come you stayed consistent all that while? But I think you've answered my question already. Yeah. That thirst, that pursuit for something, there's something you're looking for, there's something you're aiming at, and that's what will keep you going. You just keep churning out content, even when it's not making sense to some people. Like Salem was saying that he thought you pass out. But I mean, you were the only one that knew what you were looking for. And so I think you've answered that question. Now, my final question for all 3 of you before we take questions. We're going to be talking about, please give me a minute. So my final question for all 3 of you is, which do you think is the best? All right. Which one is better? Build a community, then you sell your product, or sell your product and then build a community? Who would like to go first? Okay, Peace. Let me hear. Okay.
And the answer is do both if you want to. Like, there's no hard and my general principle in life is that there's no hard and fast rule to anything, right? You can do whatever you want. You can want to decide, you know what, I want to build a community first so that when I release my product, there's a soft landing. Or you can be like, there's this idea that I have right now. I have 50 followers, but I know that there are people out there somewhere. And you create the product. All you have to do is then go hard on marketing and you still sell. So my friend and I, we did a sellout space and we had this argument. And I said, my very first ebooks were in 2017. I don't think anybody knew me then, but people still downloaded it. You know, people still said, oh my God, it was nice. And then when they see the ebook, they will not follow me because they've gotten the ebook. For her, it was she built a community first, released a course, and blew up. I'm like, anyone can happen, right? It's just a matter of you want soft landing. But I always say that audience having an audience first makes it a lot easier. It's a soft landing. You just know that Shasha 5%, 1%, like at the worst case, at least you will get 5K from one person. You just know there's a soft landing, there's that what's the word I'm looking for? Certainty that something will come out of my sweat. When you don't have an audience, you're hoping to God and your faith that it will click. But it does click. I've bought books and products from people that I didn't know, but I maybe did a bit of search here and there, and I saw it, and it was of value to me, and I got it. And that's the same way people can treat your product. You just have to make sure that when you're creating that product or trying to monetize that thing, that you've done your research to know that there are people somewhere in the world, somewhere on the internet that it's actually meant for. And then do your marketing, do your distribution, go hard on that, and you still get sales anyway.
Okay. What about you, Salem? Same thing.
Yeah, like I mean, it's the same thing. Like you can do either. I think I just want to take this opportunity to tell everyone who's here that your journey is going to be very different. Learn as much as you can from me, from Bolaji, from Peace, but your journey is going to be entirely different. It's going to be nothing like any of our journeys, right? Like just like Peace said earlier, that thing she found out by mistake. That's how you too. There are going to be things you're going to find out by mistake, and you're going to find it in the place of just putting yourself out there, just trying things, just being hungry, and just really, really wanting to, just being really interested in like building people and helping people and serving. You will stumble upon things that will define the rest of your career. Do you understand? And you don't even know it. So back to the question of whether it should be, I don't know what it should be. Like anyone, depending on where you are, you create your own path. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Find what works for you, right? Whatever works for you, just find it for yourself. Balaji, is it the same for you to find what works for you?
I would say find what works for you and stick to it. To be honest,
Okay.
it's so like Peace said. For somebody like me now, I buy some things because I want to do amebo. Like I want to see what's this person who's selling. I'm serious. I did that thing a lot last year. Like I bought a lot of things I didn't need. Like, what's this person who's selling? What's in this toolkit? Let me even see what this person is doing. To be honest, that's why. And maybe you don't have the audience, but probably because you've created it, there are going to be people like me that just buy because they just want to see, not because they actually need it. So find what works for you and stick to it. I don't have, when people ask me, do you have a launch plan? Do you have a fun? I have a funnel, but it's a funnel I created by myself, not a funnel I bought from somebody else. So you need to find that's my phrase. Find what works for you and stick to it. So what works for Salem won't work for me. What works for Peace won't work for me. What works for you, Gloria, won't work for me. So I find what works for me and stick to it. So yeah, and you figure it out as you go on.
Okay, thank you so much for your, wealth of knowledge. It's been amazing, amazing moderating this panel. Let's just move quickly to the questions, save our time. Mercy Ifunaya says, how do I connect more to the community I am building? Mercy Ifunaya, how do I connect more to the community I'm building? She has started building the community, but she wants to connect more to that community. How does she go about doing that? Bolaji.
Okay, so you need to first, for me, I'll say you need to first figure out why exactly do you did you start this community. So I started social media orga because I wanted to create. I was looking for a safe space for social media managers. I couldn't find one, so I created one. So that's why I created a community where you need to know what's the reason why you started this, and once you figured out that okay, this is the reason why I started this, it's going to become easier from that point. What are the problems that they face? How do I address those problems? But it all boils down to why exactly you started it. Did you start the community because of money, because you want to sell to them, or did you start the community because you're genuinely interested in growing a community? So you need to first figure out exactly how and why you started the community, and then you now figure out ways by which you can connect with the community. So when I created my community, I now discovered that a lot of people needed more. So I created private Telegram group, we have over 2,600 people for social media managers, where one person can just come ask a random question and somebody else is replying at any time, whether it's even in the midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., there's still somebody there that would answer your question. So it all boils down to why exactly you started building your community. I hope I answered that.
Okay. All right. So your why would help you connect more with them. Amazing. All right. Another question here is from Onwuka Tochukwu. Onwuka Tochukwu, Salem, this one is for you. Talking about replicating processes. I mean, people that would like to do things like the way you do it, or the way Peace does it, or the way Bolaji does it. All right. People that would like to replicate. So someone is talking about replicating processes. Person is asking that. How does that mean that you can't replicate processes and that you have to be unique all through? Salem, did you get that?
Yeah. So that's a very good question. I like that someone asked. So a lot of who we are right now is a combination of everything and everyone that we have experienced along our life's journey. Right? That's just what it is. Our parents, the schools we went to, the friends we hung out with, the city you were born with, what you were exposed to as a result of what your parents did for a living. Do you get, like, someone whose dad is a pharmacist had a different reality from someone whose dad was a soldier, or if your mom was a teacher, there's a different kind of, reality that comes with all of that. So I would advise you that, it's okay to be influenced and inspired by the creators you listen to and the work you consume, right? But always know that the reason why you're inspired by them is because they are original themselves, right? So when we encourage you to be original and to be unique, we're not saying you need to reinvent the wheel every single time, right? There's so much that I'm inspired by. You're not going to be able to tell, because when I take from Peace and take from Bolaji and take from Dave Chappelle and take from one movie I saw 2 years ago and take from a music video I watched, when I take from all of that, I sprinkle some me all over it. Like, I mix it with a whole lot of me, right? And that's what I present to the world. So we're not saying you shouldn't be inspired by it. We're not saying you shouldn't, even, copy someone, but you shouldn't copy someone in such a way that everyone who sees it can tell that you're a copy. Do you understand? Like, everyone who just sees it can just, because that it happens. Like, me, I don't really have strength, so I don't attack people. Like, if you copy me, I'm not going to DM you and say, yo, why are you, like, I have bigger fish to fry. But every time someone will send it to me, like, someone random will just be like, Salem, see this person. Like, people recognize it. People know. They may not come under your comments and tell you anything, but they know. And they talk about it, right? So just consider all of this and think about how you can take from different sources, or make sure that you're putting you into it. Make sure that you're being inspired. Make sure that I also want to encourage you to, as much as possible, invest in independent thoughts. Like, take time to question what you believe. When you hear things from me, don't just take it because this guy has 50,000 followers. That doesn't mean I have sense. Do you get? You need to take what people say and, put it within the context of your own reality before you just take it and run with it. You have that responsibility for independent thought. So take that responsibility.
Have sense for yourself. Don't just take everything and then just copy and paste. You pick it from someone and then just paste it on your page. If people can tell. Bright Sayram Agbenyo. I'm so sorry if I murdered your name. Please forgive me. How do you choose? This is for Peace. How do you choose among the many things you want to create? How do you settle on one and stick to it? So I can just say, carving a niche for yourself. How do you know that this is the one thing you're going to do?
Experiments. Like, I was going to say, before you made a question about niche, I was like, create all the things that you want to create. Right? Nobody's saying like necessarily stick to it. Like, it's good, it's okay to experiment with your content until you find what works. How people then end up settling on a specific type of content is most likely because they've experimented over time and, like, you know what, this one works. It works for me. It's easy for me to create. I like it. I feel authentic in it. but also my audience seem to resonate with this kind of content. And that's the formula you should look out for. But before you get there, don't bother, like give yourself months, even years, even till now. I'm still experimenting with my content on YouTube. Like these days, I just tell people that anything on YouTube people see, just take it. I'm experimenting as I evolve as a person. My content and my ideas are beginning to evolve, and I want to be able to do that with my community and say, yes, today is Founders Connect, tomorrow is Sisters Connect. As the people see, the people will take it. But you find what work by really just experiment, right? And experimenting can come in format. You can try reels today, you can try videos, you can try Twitter threads, you can try carousels, you can try black and white photos, there's so many. Every social media platform right now gives you so much in format that you can experiment with until you find, okay, you know what, it's images that work best for me, or it's reels that work best for me, or it's long form videos that work best for me, or experiment with channels. Some people are big on Instagram, but they are thought leaders with 100K followers on LinkedIn. There are people that have millions of subscribers on YouTube. There's another set of influencers on Twitter. There's a different set on TikTok. Like every channel, you could also experiment and say, you know, what is the channel that works best for me, right? Maybe it's just Twitter, maybe it's LinkedIn. So there's lots of things to experiment. We don't put yourself under so much pressure. Just experiment. And when you experiment, you begin to say, okay, this one works better for me. People connect better, people comment better, people engage better. This one has more reach, this one has more impressions, you know, and you can begin to find the threads and say, okay, you know what, I think that the 2-3 kinds of format, or this is the channel that works best. And that's how you know what to stick to in the long term.
Cast your bread upon the waters. You find it, just keep putting it. You will know which one works. I'm tempted
Amen,
to go
sister.
right now. I'm tempted to go right now, but this question for Salem. Sales strategist is saying, Salem, what were the mistakes you made at the beginning of your career that up and coming creators should avoid? What mistakes? Just give a few of them. Or if
Why are you
there's any
trying to
mistake
find
at
out
all.
my secrets? Are you
Salem,
trying
tell
to
us.
destroy me?
Tell us.
Tell us.
I was even about
Well,
saying,
I
is there
think
any mistake, Seth? Is there a mistake? What if there's no mistake?
no. If there's no mistakes, I won't be where I am now. Anyway, I'll just say the ones that are not so bad. So I guess one thing I definitely got wrong early was doing things without a plan, right? So sometimes now I know that if I want to create an ebook, there has to be a plan. Before I used to feel like, oh, you know, work speaks for itself, good work sells itself, and all that.
That's
Now
a
I
lie.
know
You have to sell it.
that. Now I know that okay, maybe good work will sell itself, but like it won't market itself. Do you understand? So you need to have a marketing plan for everything. I had to start planning. You know, to you know how Peace said, you know, sometimes you have more than one category in your audience. I was reaching out to only the people who were paying me like 3,000, 5,000, 3,000 for ebook and stuff like that. I had to strategize for how I wanted to reach an audience, you know, brands that would pay me serious money because like the other one I was doing was basically charity, to be honest. Anyway, so that's definitely a mistake I made. I was doing things without a marketing plan. I was just such a creative person. You know, creative, artistic people, we just feel like, you know, once you can just grow your dreadlocks and just be a cool kid, you know, everything will just come together.
Drag
Life.
me.
You know, so yeah, that's something. There's this time, there's one time I had a class in Abuja that I needed 30 people for. And like the night before the class, I had only 3 people register. That's like was one of the worst days of my life. You know, it was crazy because I learned later. I went back to the drawing board and I realized, oh, I wasn't marketing properly. I wasn't targeting properly. I wasn't communicating properly. You know, the title of the class was not. It was an artistic title, but like when you want to teach people something, you are not artistic about the title because it's not about you. An album title. It's a class. You know, so I had to. I think I've become a little bit of a marketing nerd because like when I started to learn about marketing, I just jumped into it like head first. So yeah, if you're a creator, be a creative person, be artistic, but I beg you, with God, go and learn about marketing, go and learn about finances, learn about all those boring stuff because you're going to need it.
I love how candid you are. It's really boring. It is, but you just have to do it. All right. I mean, the questions are pouring in. What do I do? We're really, really spent of time. Can I take like 3 minutes extra from your time, or you have to go? You have to go, right? Just nod if you have to go. Or if I can just take 3 minutes from your time. Oh, Salem has to go. Ooh. All right, then let's just call it quits right here. I'm really sorry to everyone. I cannot take your questions. Please, I'm really sorry, but don't worry. Salem is always ready for you to just
They
book
can
a
go and
person.
ask it on Salem's story. He has a question box. If
Exactly.
you go to his story, you answer the
Good,
question.
good. Or just book a personal coaching session with Salem. Don't
Wow,
worry.
you guys
Just
are making me the sacrificial lamb. Wow.
You answer it on our behalf. Thank
And the one that say you have to go now.
Avio, Avio, thank you so much, my panelists. You've been amazing. It's been beautiful doing this with you. Please link up with every one of them on their social media platforms. Salem is big on Instagram. All right. Please follow him up. Peace 2 is also big on Instagram, YouTube, and on LinkedIn and the social media.
This
Oh,
is big
God,
everywhere.
Instagram.
Everybody is
He's
big. When you are
everywhere.
big, you are big. Everybody is
That
big.
big. Also link up with me on Instagram at the Gloria Olufeko. Thank you so much, Milton.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to say thank you to everyone. Peace, Salem, Bolaji Billions. Thanks a lot for like turning up for Seller. We usually have a tradition before we like go. So we all post for a picture and like people take like screenshots and like tag us on social media. So at the count of 3, we post. 1, 2, 3, post. Hey! Awesome, guys. So please take a screenshot of that. Tag at PCT at Salem King and at social media Oga, and also at Gloria Olufeko on Instagram, Twitter, and all your social media platforms, and tell people what's happening here right now and like all the lessons you've been learning. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, PCT. Thank you, Salem. Thank you, Bolaji. Thanks for your time. God bless you all. And Stella say thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.